Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another brand new Mattel Jurassic World set, another Legacy Collection set to take a look at. This time we've got a brand new T-Rex, an Ian Malcolm, and the Mercedes from the Lost World Jurassic Park in one super cool Legacy Collection set. You can see the front of the packaging here has a really cool window area, nice and open with an awesome backdrop, honestly the perfect backdrop for a set like this, though I think I, along with pretty much everybody else, would say that this probably should have had an Eddie Carr figure in it, because it almost perfectly recreates the scene where the Tyrannosaurus come out of the forest and would, grab Eddie and tear him in half, and it would have been really cool to have that ability where you can kind of pull him in half and stuff. But unfortunately, we were given the Lost World Jurassic Park version of Ian Malcolm, but still pretty cool, just could have been a little better if it had an Eddie Carr. But you can see we've got a nice shot of course, Rexy here on the left, as well as the Legacy Collection logo down on the underneath. And then when you turn the box around and take a look at the back of the box, you can see some images and everything back here, also kind of showing you that we've got a removable back, as well as an opening there for Ian to kind of pop out of. So I'm actually quite excited, even though the Rex doesn't look that great as far as the actual paint goes. I'm still pretty excited about this set, so let's pop it open and check it out. So here is our vehicle, and it definitely looks really nice. I actually am a very big fan of the vehicle itself. Here is Ian Malcolm, I guess. And then here is our Tyrannosaurus Rex, the male variant, who is about to knock Ian over. Let's put him over there. But there is our set now in here and looking, I guess, complete. And I must say, this is like a 50-50. Like, this set had the potential to be awesome. However, due to just a lackluster paint app on that T-Rex, the T-Rex is almost like, oh boy, I really don't know what to say about it. Like, I like the new sculpt. I think the new sculpt looks cool. The resculpted head and throat definitely help to resemble the male Tyrannosaurus, at least better than the older Green Rex did. But the paint apps are just unreal on this, like, and not in a good way. I just can't even begin to fathom what happened there. Like, normally Mattel stuff gets the paint to like at least here for like a Tyrannosaur, and then we get nothing. But like, we don't even get paint to here. We get it to about here, and the yellow stripes, we've only got 5 yellow stripes, and that's it. And then they were like done with it. Normally the paint would probably start here and then go down. It doesn't do that. It starts about here. Like, no painted nails at all. We at least usually get painted nails on the feet of Tyrannosaurs. We don't have that. I don't even see a speckling on this or anything. So the paint apps on the Rex, honestly, it's almost embarrassing for a Mattel release. Like, it looks like they started to kind of figure this out, and they were like, all right, well, I think we got the basic idea down. And then that person, I guess, quit the next day, and then they were like, well, I guess this is done. Let's put it into production. Ian, I don't think really shares the likeness that the older Ian figures had, because I feel like the original Ian figures from Mattel definitely resembled him, whereas this one more so resembles Kramer from Seinfeld, from what I can see so far. But the vehicle, at least, is awesome, so I can give it that. Regardless, we're going to go ahead and jump to a closer look and really examine this brand new Legacy Collection set right now. So we'll begin with the vehicle, and you can see straight away it does look really nice. They did a great job on the overall sculpt, a great job on the paint apps. We have pretty much the coloration that we would see on the vehicle in the Lost World Jurassic Park, and I think they captured it pretty nicely overall. I like pretty much everything that I see on the vehicle. Very highly detailed. The windows look great here on the vehicle. The windshield as well. If you turn it to the front, you can see that we've got the headlights, kind of applied with like a sticker, but they are there. You can see that everything looks pretty much as awesome here on the front as it should. And then taking a look at the opposing side, again, it all looks really nicely done. Even the underside has actually a really highly detailed appearance to it. And then the back also has the tail lights and everything. And again, the paintwork looks really good through the course of the entire vehicle. We do have the ability to open the doors, so that's a plus straight away. And you can see that the actual mirrors have a sticker in there to kind of resemble the appearance of the mirror. If you look on the inside here, you can see the inside of the vehicle looks pretty good. We've got the shifter down there. We can also see the steering wheel and some controls and stuff up there on the front. Almost looks like we have a cassette player in there. It's a little hard to really tell though, and you can see the seats also look really nice. Another thing that I did notice that's pretty cool about this is you can actually pop these off, so you can take those off and then have the vehicle without those if you choose to. So that was a pretty neat touch. I don't know if they all do it. I can't tell if these ones do that or not, and I can't really get my finger in there to try, but it seems like maybe it has the potential to do that. Same for the back. I can't tell if... No, it doesn't seem like they come off here on the back, but they do come off on a few other areas. You can also pop the back off here, so now we have the inside of the vehicle, which also looks really cool. You can see also quite nicely sculpted. And one thing I noticed right away that's pretty cool is we actually have a little peg down there, and that's because there are holes on the bottom of the feet of Malcolm, so you can kind of put him on there and attach him to the peg so he would stand in there very nicely. Again, the wheels and everything seem to work really nicely. We'll give it a little test when we actually get it down there on the table. But the vehicle does look very nice. And on top of that, we also have the ability to kind of pop this open when it comes to that part that we removed there from the back of the vehicle. You can also see some stickers there for the lights up here on the top. But that's a nice little touch as well. Then we've got Kramer, and you can see, Ian Malcolm. And you can see Ian Malcolm, again, has that Lost World Jurassic Park sort of look to him. You can see he's got like that 5 o'clock shadow or a light beard going on there that he kind of has in the film. Again, you can see his hair is sculpted out. Definitely some nice life applied to the hair, and his face also has some nice paintwork to it. You can see like the eyes, the eyebrows, everything is very nicely applied. As you move down, you can see he's got a green shirt, then kind of like a brown shirt over top of that. And we have some nice creasing and wrinkling within the shirt, which adds a nice dose of realism to him. You can see his belt as you move down, and the belt is painted. As you move down and continue into his pants, you can see the pants also are, of course, that classic Ian Malcolm black coloration. But you can see they do have some nice wrinkles and stuff here as you move through. And then he also has his boots on, which also look really nice, like very highly detailed. And then on top of everything, he's got that jacket that Ian wears over top, which again you can see can open and everything. I don't know if the jacket is fully removable or not. Potentially. Seems like we probably could get it off, but of course the sleeves would still remain black. But as you try to articulate it, you can see we've got some nice articulation in the neck. Kind of go forward and back a little bit, but mostly swivel. You've also got articulation in the arm, up and down, as well as forward and back. Same deal for the elbow. And then of course these areas can swivel. Same deal for the shoulder. As you move down, you do have a swivel in the midsection for an extra bit of articulation there. And then, of course, the same articulation for the opposing arm. Can create some splits here for Ian. If he chooses to do some splits, he can also, again, go forward and back with the legs. Same deal for the knees. And then, of course, they can swivel as well. Same deal for the hip there. And that's really about it when it comes to the articulation of Ian. But it is, again, very nicely articulated. Decent-looking sculpt. But like I said, I don't know that it perfectly resembles Jeff Goldblum from the Lost World Jurassic Park. I think it's okay, but again, I would have really preferred an Eddie Carr for this set. And then we've got the T-Rex, and the majority of this T-Rex seems to me to be pretty much the same figure we usually have when it comes to an extreme damage style Rex, or in this case it's an extreme chomping Tyrannosaurus, but like the more updated sculpt and everything, you can see again, skin texture wise, everything is really nicely done. I don't feel like we really need to go over the actual sculpt a whole lot, except for up here in the head, because the head of course is definitely different from the other Tyrannosaurs, and you can see the head sculpt, the appearance, the general shape of the head, definitely a little bit different from the older Tyrannosaurs that Mattel has released, which is nice. We have a dark tone there that circles around the eye, maybe a little too much, probably should have been focused a little closer to the eye, but we also have that coloration run up here into the palette. Would have been cool to see a striping effect moving down there, but again, that's just, I think, maybe asking a little too much. But again, that's just not something I guess we're going to get. You can also see, again, we have this nice light tone for the lower jaw that runs into the throat and immediately disappears. We just have this tiny little spot of it right there. We do have an articulated jaw, which, both the upper and lower jaw articulate because it's the extreme chomping style Tyrannosaurus, which we have a button to activate that. But you can see we have a really nicely sculpted tongue, very highly detailed tongue sculpt in there, nice pinkish tone. The teeth are all sculpted pretty decently, definitely really quite thick and kind of rounded, so they don't look that great, but they look okay, I guess, about as decent as a Mattel Tyrannosaurus teeth usually look. And then as you move back here into the neck, you can see some creasing and skin wrinkles and stuff, and you can also see a nice bulkiness to the throat right here, also resembling the male Tyrannosaurus from the Lost World Jurassic Park, which I really do like, that they actually have gone through the trouble of resculpting it a little bit to give us that more accurate appearance. I really would have liked to have seen the injuries and stuff on the face, something that you do see on the Lost World Jurassic Park version, even if there was no paint at least sculpted in, because Mattel does tend to sculpt injuries and stuff onto their dinosaurs, or at least the Tyrannosaurs, from time to time, so that would have been nice, but they didn't, unfortunately. As you move down, you can see, again, it's just the green up here on the head. As we get down here to the lower part of the neck, you start to see a dark gray pickup, and we do have a yellow striping, and this area is kind of reminiscent to what you would see on a male Tyrannosaurus from the Jurassic Park franchise, but you can see, again, we've only got 5 stripes of that yellow, and it's gone. Then we do have the dark gray, but that ends up here disappearing once we reach the hip region, and then we have nothing, like absolutely nothing color-wise on this. There's nothing on the underside, really. We have 2 random little, like, I don't know, defects or something there on the underside, but nothing else really going on when it comes to paintwork or anything on this. Of course, Mattel doesn't usually capture the correct size of scales and stuff here for the underside, so you can see it is lacking that as well if we really want to go into thorough detail on this. But again, no painted nails for the fingers, no painted nails for the toes or anything, so pretty lackluster as far as the paint apps go, and it is sad because we've been waiting for a good male Rex from Mattel for a very long time, and I'm so happy to see that they did take the time and effort out to resculpt the head and everything to make it look a little bit different, a little bit better, closer to what a male Rex looks like. But the fact that it's just nearly unpainted or just has that severely unfinished look to the paintwork is definitely a pretty big downside for the figure. Another thing I did notice on the T-Rex is that the swivel here in the ankles is super loose. You can actually see how loose this one is. Like, it's really, really loose. Definitely looks like that'll be a problem in the future. I don't know if they're all like that, but mine is very, very loose. We do actually, before I forget, have the Jurassic Facts app code if you would like to add that to your collection. There you go, there is your chance. But again, being the Extreme Chompin' Rex, we have the action feature here with the button on the back of the neck, which causes a chomping action feature, like all of the Extreme Chompin' Tyrannosaurs always had. Again, you can see how quickly those ankles twist on me. Just pushing it back, it's now twisted back again. But as far as the vehicle goes, again, we wanted to check out the mobility of it. You can see it is very, very smooth, so that's a plus. It does move and operate very nicely. Has some pretty cool features to it as well. As far as a size goes, I really don't think we need to measure much. I will measure the vehicle because why not? But for a length on the vehicle, you are looking at around 10.5 inches or about 27 centimeters. And then for a height, to the highest point, about 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimeters. I guess we'll measure the Rex because I don't know if there is any size difference at all between this and the other Tyrannosaurs in the line, or at least the other Extreme Chompin' Tyrannosaurs. But for a length from the snout to the tail, about 19.25 inches or around 49 centimeters. And then for a height in the position that's currently in, again, those ankles twisting, you are looking at a little over 7 inches or about 18 centimeters. Ian is, of course, going to fall right there in the 3.75 inch size range, as all of the Mattel humans usually do. But for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Clovisaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, next to our Legacy Collection Tyrannosaurus Ambush set, and you can see again that pretty much everything is in the size range you would expect it to be. Nothing really surprising here as far as the size goes. The only other comparison I feel like we really needed to do was this one with a male and female Tyrannosaur from the Mattel line, as we have the Extreme Damage, which is also the same size and pretty much the same type of figure as the Extreme Chompin'. So these are right there in the same similar size range. You can see, looking at them, they are pretty much the same size, same pose. Everything is pretty much the same between the two except for the head and neck area. And you can very much so see again the difference in appearance between the head sculpts between the male and female. They did do a pretty good job of resculpting the head out to look a little different, which I am a big fan of. It's just the paint apps are the biggest problem for this T-Rex. So this brand new Mattel Jurassic World Legacy Collection Tyrannosaurus Ambush set is 50-50 for me. Like, I really want to love it because I am a huge fan of the male Rex from the Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 when we do see a different version there. But I feel like I actually like the male Rex even more so than the female, especially when it comes to the color scheme. I've always been a big fan of the color scheme of the male Rex, but this Rex is just such a heartbreaker for me because we had so much potential with it. I love the resculpted head and neck and everything. I think it looks awesome because of that. But the paint apps might be some of the laziest I've ever seen from Mattel, and it's not even like slightly disguised as they made an attempt. Like, it is just very obviously super lazy. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the vehicle got quite a bit of paint work to it that they went lackluster on the T-Rex, or maybe it's because they used the paint apps on this one to make the Hammond Collection version with the crowdfunder look better, which we clearly are not going to get, unfortunately. Sometime, somewhere, a decision was made to make the paintwork of this look extremely lackluster to the point of not even having painted nails or anything. And again, it just tears me up because I don't know what to feel about it. Because, like, I really don't like the paint apps. Like, I really don't like the paint apps of this. But I love the male Rex, and I love the fact that this is a Lost World Jurassic Park set, and I love the Lost World, so I really hope we get more Lost World sets and maybe a better painted version of this T-Rex at some point, because it has a lot of potential, but the paint apps are just so bad on this. The inclusion of Ian Malcolm in this set is pretty cool to have a Lost World Jurassic Park style Ian finally in the line, but I would have preferred Eddie Carr, and this was the absolute perfect set to include him and introduce him to the Mattel line. Definitely something that I feel like this set was almost made for would be an Eddie Carr figure, and unfortunately they didn't do it. I don't know if they're going to do some sort of a bigger version for Eddie later on, maybe an SDCC exclusive next year or something, but I really feel like they dropped the ball by not including him in this set. Ian does look pretty cool. Even if he looks like Kramer, I still think he's a pretty cool figure. But then we also have the vehicle, again, the Mercedes, and that is absolutely awesome. I think they did a great job on the sculpt of this, on the paint, the extras, everything on this vehicle is fantastic and is definitely the star of the show when it comes to this set, which is pretty crazy to think that a vehicle would be the star of the show when it comes to a Lost World Jurassic Park male Tyrannosaurus in the Mattel line, but it definitely is, and again, I really do love the vehicle. Definitely a great choice on the part of Mattel to create that vehicle for us and give us even more Lost World Jurassic Park collectibles that we've been pretty much dreaming about. So again, this set had the potential to be absolutely amazing. It definitely falls flat, but I'm not upset with my purchase, and I'm pretty happy to have a better looking male Rex, as far as the sculpt at least, in the Mattel line. If you are interested, you can pre-order it right now on Target, which I will include a link to in the description, or you can actually head to your store and ask them if they have it. It may already be on shelves. Mine was, so it is starting to show up on shelves all over the place. So if you are interested, check the link in the description. Also, you can check your store and let me know in the comments section what you guys think of this, and also like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.